إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستغفره ونستعينه ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له نشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي المقصرة أولا بتقوى الله فاتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد, all praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious and the most merciful. And the best of His peace and blessing shall be bestowed upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and upon those that follow his footsteps. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, one of the most important principles in Islam, the most important commands that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would love to see us executing to the best of our ability is to always improve the condition of all creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Improving our condition as humans. Whether you belong or subscribe to the religion of Islam or not, we know that we believe that all humans are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is a duty and an obligation for all of us to improve the condition of life. And it also extends beyond humans to get to all creations of Allah. As we always say, al-hajar wa-shajar, the plants, the environment, the ecosystem. It is your responsibility as a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always work diligently to improve the condition of life. And as we know, there are different areas in our lives that require attention for us to have hayat tayyiba, good life on earth. So there's the economy, there is the education, there are the services, and then there's politics. And whether we like it or not, politics is an important part of our lives that will either help improve the quality and the condition of your life, or it could turn it into misery. Because politics as we know it relies on a very important idea, which is serving citizens, serving people, working for people's interest, improving the life of people. If that's what politics is, then it is important for us to pay good attention to politics. And it is important for us to understand the system. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Rum said, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked us clearly, ordered us clearly in Surah Al-Rum, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. To do what? Go walk the earth. Go explore the earth. For what? فَانْظُرُوا, observe. Go explore the earth and observe. Observe what? عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. The consequences and the end results of the work of people that preceded you. So if we are ordered to roam the earth and explore the outcomes of other civilizations, what does that mean? We need to learn the systems around us We need to learn everything that involves the well-being of humans on earth. When we say the outcome of the civilization, meaning you need to study. Did they do well? Did they have justice? Did they have good systems to serve humans? So if we're ordered to roam the earth and explore, we're better off understanding our local systems. Understanding our local systems and how things work around us. Because we cannot just sit at home and complain that I'm not getting my rights, or I'm getting abused, or there's Islamophobia, or this city is not helping out, or the city councilors are working for some people's groups and not serving others, or the mayor is doing this, or we can't sit back and complain. We need to learn the system, and we need to, why do we learn the system? When there is nazar, when there is observation, why do we nanzur? Why do we observe to learn? So nazar, ثم العلم, ثم العمل. There's observation, and there's education, and there's application. If we observe and do nothing, we didn't do anything. No benefit. But we observe, we learn, and we apply. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do. So if we look into the system and say we want to improve our condition as a community, and we want to improve our condition as a town, as a city, as a municipality, what is it that we need to do? There's a very important event that's going to take place in about 4 weeks, which is the municipal elections. The municipal election is a very important one, actually, because it relates to our daily life, our daily services. Everything you see around you, from infrastructure, transportation, police services, cemetery, water services, business licenses. These are very important part of your life as a citizen and a resident of the city, that you need to know that there are people out there that make decisions on these things. Even libraries, parks, public events, everything has to do with your daily life. Decisions are being made at the municipal level. And if we're not part of that process, we're going to sit at home and complain. Or at least there will not be balance in our society in serving everyone's interest and serving the public's interest. How do we engage? What do we learn and how do we engage? We learn the system, we understand how the system works, and we engage at 2 levels. The first level, which is basically your vote. You need to get out of there, get out of your comfort zone, get out of your home, and be active. Be active in improving the condition, and let this be your niyyah. Let this be your intention in your participation, is to improve the condition of the people. And we're not just talking about one community or one group. We're talking about all the residents of the area that you live in or the city. Your condition or your intention is to improve the condition of the area for everybody. For humans, for the ecosystem, for all creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as it is your responsibility to do that. So going out there on October 22nd become extremely important for you to participate and choose the right people that will serve the interest of your city. But that doesn't stop there. There's another level of engagement that's extremely important, which is participating in the political arena, participating and running for offices. Now, we all know very well that there are people out there that are interested in running for these offices and leading and managing and serving the public. And we have to applaud these people for taking that step. Because we know very well the public service is not easy. When you become a public figure, a public servant, you're pretty much exposed. You're open you become almost a public property. Your life is focused on the public service. It'll be difficult to hide, to have a quiet, isolated private life, because you have to serve, and service doesn't only stop at business hours. It's a 24/7 engagement. And we applaud the people that have dedicated their lives for public service. And we thank them. We wish them all the best, and we definitely ask them to always focus on the public interest. For us as a community, we've known for a very long time that our participation at that level was low, even at the voting level. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, in the past elections, past two elections, the federal and the provincial, our engagement in the voting has really increased significantly. And you've heard me saying this before, and I say it again, in the last federal elections, our participation, our voting increased from 11% to 77% for the Muslim community. And this is very, very plausible and encouraging, that we are realizing that we need to be there. We're there. There are numbers. We're citizens of this country. We love it. We cherish it. We want to maintain the growth and the development of the country. And that will only happen if we participate. So we hope, inshallah, that our participation at the municipal level, which is also has been weak, for it to change this year. And I'm addressing here the citizens of Oakville. I hope, inshallah, that you will take this very serious. In terms of our participation in running for office at the municipal level, it's also historically been weak, if you will. But you look around you this year and you see, mashallah, there are a lot of participants. There are a lot of candidates from our community. And it is a healthy move, if you will. We want people to engage at all levels. And you walk into some cities like Milton, you'll be surprised to see the number of community members that are running for all levels, whether it's councillor, or board of trustee, or even mayor. Well, we have a very important advice for the people that are thinking about running for these offices. But before I get to that, I don't want to forget about the board of trustees. We said that the main elections are for the councillors of the town or the city and the mayor position. But there's also the board of trustees, which is a very important position that we need to pay attention to. Why? Because the board of trustees or school trustees are responsible for the education system, for the schools. They're responsible for the human resources, for the curriculums, for the operation, for the financials, and most importantly, one of the most important obligations and duties for the school board trustee is to advocate on behalf of the people's interest in schools. Why do we have schools? Do we have schools so some certain group or area will push a certain ideology through it? No. We have schools so our children will learn sciences, will learn good knowledge and good skills. Not a certain ideology or a certain idea or a certain belief or faith. But in order for that school system to operate properly, we need to have the proper board to monitor that operation. And that's resembled in the school board trustees, which you elect. That means you have a say in the way the schools operate. If you sit down and do nothing, if you don't vote, you don't participate, don't complain that things are going in a certain direction. You want things to go in the right direction, you make sure you're part of the process. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه لا يفوز المستغفر. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. As we said, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, there's a significant number of candidates from our community that are running and seeking nominations running for office, not just in Oakville, but in the GTA in general. The advice here is, we don't just vote for a person because he subscribes to the same religion. This is not how it's done Islamically. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they gave us guidance to select any type of, or any person that's running for any type of work or any job. How do we qualify for a job? What does Islam say about qualifying for a certain job? We all know this verse from Surah Al-Qasas, verse 26. قالت إحداهما يا أبت استأجره إن خير من استأجرت القوي الأمين. A famous story of Musa, the prophet Moses, Musa alayhi wa ala Rasulullah sallallahu, when he went to Midian and he helped out two girls. We all know that story. That girl went back to her father, who's the prophet Shu'aib alayhi wa sallam, and she asked him to hire Musa. Shu'aib was looking for somebody to hire to do work for him. So what do you look for when you hire somebody? And remember, who's hiring here in the political process? It's you. You are hiring. You're hiring the candidates. You're hiring all public positions. Anybody that's running for it, you're hiring them. How do you hire them? What do you look for? There are two things as mentioned in the Holy Quran. Al-Qawiyyu al-Amin. Inna khayra man istajarta al-Qawiyyu al-Amin. The strong and the trustworthy. So two important characteristics that we need to look for. Strength and trustworthiness. What does it mean? Strength, my dear brothers and sisters, maybe this is the easy one. When we talk about participating in public life, running for any public position, what do you need the most? The strength that you need first is the ability to communicate. Why? Because what happens, how do these people work? And we're going to hear from them soon. But how do they work? They sit down and they discuss. They discuss issues related to public. They debate. They negotiate. So there's always that element of discussion that requires you having the best communication skills. So imagine if someone running for that position with zero communication skills, is this person going to do the job properly? No, he'll probably be an observant if he wins or she, but they're not going to do the job properly. So to do the job properly, you have to have the best communication skills. Second thing you need to have or acquire, or should have prior to your you running for that position, is to have the knowledge of the public service. You need to have the experience. You need to have the knowledge. What are the people's needs? What do they need? How can I improve the condition of people? What can I work on to make things easy for you? Whether it's in the infrastructure, in any kind of services, what's required to better the condition of my city? That knowledge is extremely important. And this is what you need to look for when somebody is approaching you for your vote. Do they have the right communication skills? Do they have the knowledge? This is on the strength side of it. So now we fulfill the condition of being strong, al-qawi. The second one is al-amin. You have to be trustworthy. And what is the trustworthiness that we refer to when it comes to the, this municipal elections candidates? For me, and I think most of you would agree, is this job is about the public. It's about public service. It's about the people. So anybody that's running for these positions have to have in mind that I'm doing it for the people. I'm not doing it for fame. I'm not doing it for security. I'm not doing it for comfort. I'm not doing it to hold a certain title. I'm doing it to serve the public. I'm doing it for people. So if a person, and for sure nobody would say otherwise, nobody would say, Allah, I'm doing it for you guys, or would come bluntly and say, I'm doing it because I like the title of being mayor. Nobody would say that. We know that. But it will show. It will show if a person has a good record, track record, and history of working for people, helping people. Or someone just popped up with absolutely no history of public service, and all of a sudden they're seeking the public servant position. We would know from people that know that person. This is why it's part of our due diligence is to ask about the candidate, to know what they're up to. Are they just doing it for themselves, or are they truly people that are seeking people's interest and serving others? That position and that body of public service resembled in the municipal government will only function well if we have the right qualified people in place. People that are strong, people that are trustworthy, they know what they're doing, and their goal is to help others. Yes, they will benefit from it because it's a job and it's legitimate, but that should not be the goal for running for that office. So the question here is, what if we end up with people that are not qualified, they're neither strong nor trustworthy, or they're missing one of those? Because this is where disasters start. Is when you have people in any position, I'm not just talking about public positions, in any positions, if you're hiring somebody, if the person you're hiring is missing one of these two, what happens? Rasulullah ﷺ was asked once, مَتَى السَّاعَةُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ? When is the hour? And we know that when we say a sa'a, what precedes a sa'a? There are some difficult events that precedes a sa'a. Disasters, natural disasters, and what have you, as described in the holy books. So a person asked Rasulullah ﷺ, مَتَى السَّاعَةُ? Rasulullah ﷺ قال, he answered, إِذَا ضُيَّعَتِ الْأَمَانَةُ فَارْتَقِبِ السَّاعَةِ. If the amana, if the trust is lost, await as-sa'a, meaning await disasters. So the Sahaba asked Rasulullah ﷺ, they were surprised. How would a person lose the trust? Because trust is the big thing, was amongst the people of Quraysh back then. How would people lose the trust? People have to have integrity. What was the answer of Rasulullah ﷺ? إِذَا أُوسِدَ الْأَمْرُ إِلَى غَيْرِ أَهْلِهِ فَارْتَقِبِ السَّاعَةِ. If the non-qualified person gets the job, that's when disasters start. إِذَا أُوسِدَ الْأَمْرُ إِلَى غَيْرِ أَهْلِهِ. If we end up hiring the wrong person for the wrong reasons, await disasters. Indeed, that's when we have problems, is when we put the unqualified person in a position. And we look at those people that are nominating themselves. We tell them that good intentions are not enough. It's not enough to say, oh, I want to do this for my people, even if I'm lacking this strength or that quality, I want to do it for the people. That's not enough. You have to have integrity and be the first person to judge yourself. And I want to remind you of Qala Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a very important hadith. من تولى أمرا من تولى عملا وهو يعلم أنه ليس لذلك العمل أهل فليتبوأ مقعده من النار. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يريدنا جميعا من النار. This is very dangerous. If you end up taking on a job, as Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, and you evaluate yourself, and you know that you're not qualified for that job, you will be severely punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because by taking on a job and not being qualified for it, you're hurting others, you're hurting the public, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting the people that will vote for you, you're hurting the people that you're presenting. And you will be a cause of disasters at all levels. So we ask you, as the employer in this process, you're hiring, to first of all, to engage, to vote, to hire the right person by looking for the right qualities and right qualifications. And we ask all the candidates that are running to make sure they evaluate themselves first, to know that they're qualified for the job, and then make sure they're doing it for the right reason. They're strong and they're trustworthy. If we strike this perfect balance, inshallah, we'll be able to improve our life and the life of our city and the life of all people, which is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants wants us to do. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and shower us with His mercy. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us learn His deen and help us apply it. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect all the weak ones across the globe. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our efforts to serve and accept our efforts to build and accept our efforts to help grow this country and lead it into prosperity. إنه على كل شيء قدير. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى المغفرة والعفو. إنه على كل شيء قدير. وأنت يا أخي أقم الصلاة.